AD.
Yep.
Antonio, coach is on the line.
AB.
Coach.
Hello.
Yo, what's up, coach?
What the hell's going on, man?
Just a villain all over the news, man.
Is Antonio all right?
He didn't behave like this before he started getting this money.
There's something wrong with AB.
Antonio Brown has been an absolute embarrassment.
You're not a villain. You're the most misunderstood fucking human being in my entire life that I've ever met. I mean, I brought you here because you're my favorite guy. I've never seen a guy work hard. And I don't know where you are in your life right now off the street. All I know is you got a lot of things going. There's a lot of people that have an opinion about you. And whether it be good or bad, you're in the spotlight all the time. Let me ask you this, do you want to be a Raider or not?
Man, I've been trying to be a Raider since day one. I've been fucking working my ass off harder than anyone. I don't know why it's a question of me being a Raider. Like, you guys want me to be a Raider?
Please stop this shit. You just play football. How hard is it, man? You're a great football player. Just play football.
Yeah, but I'm more than a football player, man. I'm a real person. It ain't about the football. I know how to do that. I'll show you guys there on the daily. This is my life. Ain't no more games.
So Liberty City, when I say Liberty City, what do you think of?
Just the competitive nature, you know what I mean? The attitude, the environment, you know, it's just Miami. The part that people really don't get to see, but it's the heart of Miami.
Tough place to grow up?
Absolutely rough. Shapes your attitude, your mentality, just making you who you are.
Did you get in trouble a lot?
I did get in trouble a lot.
How come?
I just think, you know, I was a quarterback at school, starting quarterback, having a lot of issues at the house, you know, mom, dads. So sometimes I came to school and did the wrong things, like maybe gambled or, you know, try to make some money or did something that was, you know, wasn't appropriate.
Were you doing that because you wanted attention, or were you doing that just because
I needed money. For kids coming from Liberty City, you never know what they're really going through.
Brown's road to the NFL had many twists. While his father was an arena football star living in Albany, New York, his mother was navigating a new marriage. For Antonio, home wasn't the easiest place to be.
My mom and her husband, you know, they had a lot going on. So it was like, I was becoming a teenager, and it was like, he wanted rules, she wanted rules, and it was just becoming too much out of hand.
Did she kick you out, or did you make that choice?
Nah, I just made the choice to love. My mom never kicked me out. You know, it was just a better situation for me to leave, with getting into it with her husband, and she having other kids. It was just too much at the time, so.
Football was the one thing Brown could count on to get him through the day. The high school quarterback planned to play at Alcorn State, but when he arrived on campus, he was told he was academically ineligible.
So grades and test scores kept you from Alcorn State?
I actually went there. They wanted me to stay there, and I was like, I can't stay here and not play. So if Alcorn wasn't gonna work, you know, I was gonna go to prep school where my friend was already at.
In North Carolina?
In North Carolina. I'm just a young kid, 18 years old, you know, just trying to be successful.
Brown spent half a year at North Carolina Tech Prep, enough time to earn college eligibility. He returned home to Miami and a chance to play at Florida International.
Finally, Division I.
Yeah.
You know?
And?
So I was really excited, but, you know, I'm in Miami. You know, most of all my friends in Liberty City, I'm back to, you know what I mean, where I'm from, the people I know. One of my close friends who I hang around with, he get in some trouble with the campus police in the midst of us going to work out. He talked to the police crazy, pushed the car, he run away from him, and I'm like, sitting there like, yeah, is this really happening? So I go to walk back to the dorms. The police got up the gun on me. I'm like, hey, sir, like, I go here, what's going on? I'm like, all right. So I run, I get away from them. Like, I'm hiding out at dorms. Like, I ain't do nothing, I'm going to work out, and next thing you know, I'm like running from the police through campus.
So then it culminates in they revoke your scholarship?
Yeah. So they pretty much deny my admissions. They just say, like, hey, you never went here.
Right.
So now I'm back.
So now you're back to the beginning.
Yeah.
In the fall of 2007, Brown walked on at Central Michigan. In his 3 years there, he averaged over 1,000 yards a season and set a school record for receptions, drawing the attention of NFL scouts.
Skill-wise, he was pretty raw. He was a quarterback until he came with us to Central Michigan. He couldn't get in the stance as a receiver. I mean, that's how raw he was.
You're fucking with, I'm the fucking boss. Said I'm 45, white on white, that's fucking Ross. I cut them wide, I cut them long, I cut them fat. I keep them coming back, we keep them coming back. I'm in the distribution, I'm like Atlantic. I got the motherfuckers flying across the Atlantic. I know Pablo Noriega, the real Noriega. He owe me 100 favors. I ain't petty, nigga. We buy the whole thing. See, most of my niggas
during that first year and then during the next 2 years, his work ethic is pretty much second to none. Just his drive, his hunger. He played the game for different reasons, especially as he got older and kind of started smelling the success he could have. And he was the best player in that conference, hands down, at the time. He was the first player, and maybe the only player still, to be first team punt returner, kick returner, and wide receiver all in the same year. He was the MVP of the bowl game. He had 3 rings, MAC Freshman of the Year. He was the best punt returner in college football at the time. There was nothing else for him to prove other than, hey, I can do this at a bigger scale.
I'm pitching. Jose Canseco just snitching because he finished. I feed them steroids to strengthen up all my chickens. They flying over.
Called me and said, Coach, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to the draft.
And I think he understands that I was a diamond in the rough. And he told me that going into the draft. I was able to get the process started really well. I had the opportunity to go to the combine, just embracing the whole process of the journey of being drafted.
You're a little bit undersized. You've only been playing the position 3 years. Don't be expected to get drafted the first or second round.
I remember that he had a distinguishing trait. He had the ability to separate at break points. And that was unique on his tape, and it continues to be unique on his tape today.
Draft day, I was on Miami Beach, seeing names being called on the TV and just waiting around to be picked. I was really excited. You know, getting late in the round, 6th round, you know, my brother was like, man, I think you're going to go to the Steelers. You know, I was confident I'll get an opportunity eventually. You know, I knew it was coming. I didn't know when it was coming, but I know it's going to happen.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select.
The Buffalo Bills called my brother phone. My brother was like, hey, this Buffalo. And then I literally grabbed the phone. And then once I did like this, I looked down, there was a 412 number. And then I was like, I picked up that one. I was like, about time. You watch it happen on TV, your family's excited, everyone see your name, they say your stats or whatever. And you know, you're just excited. You know, I'm excited to meet Big Ben, I'm excited to learn the playbook. I'm excited to get up here and try to soak everything up and get to work.
We actually had Antonio graded higher than where we picked him. Once we got Antonio here, it was real evident to us that he was going to be special.
Back in the early part of this decade, they were out of the same division, and away we go from Nashville. Moreldi Moore from about the 3-yard line for Pittsburgh, and the end around, they bring it on the near side to Antonio Brown. He's got room, Barones to beat, and there he goes! He'll be chased, and he is gone! 97 yards! Oh, what a way to start!
Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's not when I pulled off the lot. That's not repping my town. When you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Black stripe,
yellow paint. Them niggas scared of it, but them hoes ain't. Soon as I hit the club, look at them hoes' face. Hit the pedal once, make the floor shake. Sway inside, my engine roaring. It's the big boy, you know what I paid for it. And I got the pedal to the metal. Got you niggas checking game, I'm balling out on every level. Hear them haters talk, but there's nothing you can tell them. Just made $1 million, got another $1 million on my schedule. No love for them, nigga breaking hearts. No keys, push to start. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do, I do it big.
Inbounds inside the 20-yard line by Antonio Brown. And they'll spot it at the 50.
When you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Got a call from my jeweler, this just in. The bitches love me cause I'm fucking with their best friends. Not a lesbian, but she a freak though. This ain't for one night, I'm shining all week, ho. I'm sipping Clico and rocking yellow diamonds. So many rocks up in
Give
my
them a
watch,
chance to make a play. That's what receivers will tell quarterbacks all the time. Goes up over the smaller Tim Jennings. Brilliant.
You know what it is. Everything I do it big.
One-handed grab is good for the touchdown. Antonio Brown.
Possession, 1, 2. I think he got it. Game, Antonio Brown is out.
Stay high like I'm supposed to do. That crowd
Well, all of a sudden,
clouds.
it's a one touchdown, 27-20. The touchdown. A lot to talk about in regard to that play, but a smiling Brown has put Pittsburgh right back into the game.
But this has been one big breakout night for Antonio Brown, and it's so key in those 3-by-1 sets by the Steelers. If they leave somebody one-on-one on the backside of that, and he is now the one, it is tough to play this football team. And right now, Antonio Brown is proving worthy of that position.
Taylor gang. You know what it is. Everything I do it big. Screaming that's not when I pulled off the lot. That's done. Reppin' my town. When you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Black stripe, yellow paint. Them niggas scared of it, but them hoes ain't. Soon as I hit the club, look at them hoes' face. Hit the pedal once, make the floor shake. Sway inside, my engine roaring. It's the big boy, you know what I paid for it. And I got the pedal to the metal. Got you niggas checking game, I'm balling out on every level. Hear them haters talk, but there's nothing you could tell them. Just made $1 million, got another $1 million on my schedule. No love for them, nigga breaking hearts. No keys, push to start. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's not when I pulled off the lot. That's done. Reppin' my town. When you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Got a call from my jeweler, this just in. And bitches love me cause I'm fucking with their best friends. Not a lesbian, but she a freak though. This ain't for one night, I'm shining all week, ho. I'm sipping Clico and rocking yellow diamonds. So many rocks up in my watch, I can't tell what the time is. Got a pocket full of big faces. Throw it up cause every nigga that I'm with Taylor. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big.
Come on, yes, always knows, right? Hey, you a heck of a player, right?
That's done. Reppin' my town. When you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Showing blitz, and here they come. And throws, and wrestling it away is Brown.
Nice shot. It ended up working out.
And he came out on the next play and went back in for you know what. Long pass caught by Antonio Brown.
Super clean, but
Roethlisberger. And that is caught by Brown for a touchdown. Might make a couple.
I let her get high, she might feel that. Convertible drive.
this afternoon. It'll be interesting to see how they incorporate him into the offense. This has kind of been like a flip of the script.
Last year led the NFL in yards from scrimmage. What a beautiful play.
So the Steelers open up at their own 17 with a play action. Roethlisberger looking for the home run ball. Deep is great. Antonio Brown with the grab. Stays on his feet. Brought down. Touchdown Steelers. And the somersault to boot.
He nails it all, even the dismount and the landing.
Cincinnati between the Steelers and the Bengals. No Andy Dalton with that broken thumb. Marvin Lewis, he's lost his first 6 playoff games. They haven't won one since the 1990 season. Trying to do it with his backup A.J. McCarron in just his 4th start. In the meantime, they'd have to face their nemesis from Pittsburgh, Big Ben and the Steelers. He's 10-5 in his career in the playoffs. Now, before the game, look at this. All the officials at the center line to keep the team separated. A lot of bad blood here.
No-fly zone, huh?
No-fly zone. See, no D'Angelo Williams, but how about Jordan Todd, a nice job he did, and then Reggie Nelson on the sidelines. Watch what happens. He and the Steelers offensive line coach, the Hall of Famer Mike Munchak, get into it, and Munchak gets called for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Man, dreads, man. A coach? Mike don't play that.
On to the second quarter. Here comes the rain. McCarron wearing no glove and gets picked off by Antoine Blake.
Ill advised throw there. It's one of the times he took a shot in the game, and it was horrible.
It led to a Chris Boswell field goal and the first points of the game. Boswell would tack on 3 more. 6-0 now in the third. The Steelers would eventually get a field goal and a 9-0 lead. Antonio Brown, another 100-yard effort.
Mama, there go that man. Mama, there go that man.
The baddest man in the game right now.
That is a 60-yard gain. Steelers have 1st and goal, and then 2 plays later. Remember, Big Ben called out Martavis Bryant this week, said he had to grow up and toughen up?
I got you.
How's this for a catch? The somersault, and the ball was between his twins and on his hamstring. So the Bengals' ensuing drive. Giovanni Bernard on 3rd and 9, lit up by Ryan Shazier. Ball is loose. Shazier starts returning it. Now, the refs did blow the whistle. They ruled Bernard down by contact. Jeremy Hill ticked off about the hit. So here we go. Steelers and Bengals living together at midfield. We've got some issues out there as far as Bernard. He walked off the field.
Well, he wasn't defenseless either.
So Tomlin threw the challenge flag. He said that Shazier actually forced the ball up.
Where did that helmet go, LTZ? He's a runner at that.
So they overturned the call. It was a turnover. So the Steelers get it back. Roethlisberger then gets dropped by Burfict into the turf. Roethlisberger, as you can see, lands on that right shoulder. His teammates tried to help him up. He couldn't do it. So he gets carted to the locker room. So that means Landry Jones had to come on and replace him. So 1st and goal for Jeremy Hill. He punches it in on 2nd and goal. And the Bengals are within 15-7 and facing a backup quarterback as well. Later on, it's 15-10. Landry Jones still in the game, even though Roethlisberger has come out of the tunnel and has his helmet on. 3rd and 4, Jones for Brown. It's incomplete. No flag.
He had him beat, too. You just got to get it up there to the best receiver in the game right now. You got to give him an opportunity.
4th and 1. They're going for it with under 3 minutes to go.
Who are you going to look to?
Marvin? Marvin, is that you?
Marvelous.
That's a gain of 9. Moves the chains. 3 plays later,
what about this time?
That's AJ to AJ. And the Bengals, with under 2 minutes to go, are looking to advance for the first time in a quarter century. Ensuing drive, it's not Roethlisberger, it's Landry Jones, and it's Vontaze Burfict, a guy that was fined $69,000 the last time they played the Steelers with the pickoff. And so all they got to do is maybe run it out.
We can turn out the lights, right? We can turn out the lights.
But Jeremy Hill has it stripped by Shazier. Ross Cockrell recovers it, and the Steelers are back in business. So Big Ben comes back into the game, 4th and 3 on their own 41 with under 30 to go. Roethlisberger, Brown.
Great route. pick route on the linebacker. Antonio goes inside, dips out, move the chains.
And then the biggest play of the game. Roethlisberger incomplete to Brown, but you see a late flag. That's on Vontaze Burfict, leading with his shoulder to the head of Brown, who Mike Tomlin would later say was concussed. So that's a personal.
Roethlisberger from the pocket, middle of the field, incomplete.
Personal foul. A flag does come in. Went to the head. Lewis Harris is going to be flagged for this on the hit on Antonio Brown, and it's going to put the Steelers in field goal range.
Personal foul, defense number 55, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Perfect in the end.
Definitely took the shot to the head. You could see it live. Marvin Lewis, before this drive started, was talking on the sideline the whole time, it seemed like, to Vontaze Burfict, and yes.
Oh, my goodness. Brown is still down.
That's, of course, flagrant.
Out of control?
Out of control. It's going to be everything. That's going to be suspension, fine. And before this drive started, Marvin Lewis was on the sideline with him, talking to him the whole time to make sure that he controlled his emotions when he went back out on the field.
You know, I don't think that message resonated as much as Marvin tried. Brown is on his feet. There's Joey Porter, one of the assistants. He's had, of course, back in his playing days, scrapes. Then he got bumped. And now there's a little flare-up again. An official just got pushed. And now if this is just a penalty against Cincinnati, they're just going to make this a chip shot field goal and lose their season over it. Burfict thinks it might be against Pittsburgh.
Personal foul, defense number 24, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Adam Jones. Well, and go for the kick, then in all likelihood would win it if he makes it. And the kick is drilled, and the Steelers are back ahead at 18-16.
Terrible day for the league.
McCann launching it deep. Batted down by Shazier. And the game is over. The Steelers have come back.
How long did it take to get over the concussion?
About 2 weeks.
The worst part of that concussion after Burfict hit you was what?
Yeah, probably your energy and your balance. You know, when you get a concussion, doing the eyes test with the symptoms usually make you real dizzy, lightheaded, and wanting to sleep a lot. Extremely upset. You know, if anybody saw the hit or saw what took place, it was evident you can't act now like that. You know, in the heat of the game and the situation of the play and how it transpired. If I was even conscious, I would have reacted to Burfict, Vontaze, whatever, and the reaction of the hit. You know, as you can see, I had no reaction, totally lost consciousness. And
so you're out. Are you out before you even hit the turf?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because he hit me right in the head right before I hit the turf. Yeah.
Memory loss?
A little bit. You know, my coach was telling me I was smiling and talking to him like they thought it was regular, but I didn't recall any of it.
What would you say to Burfict?
He's an idiot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's got a history of this.
Yeah.
And I thought at the time they knew just don't do anything stupid and they win the game.
Exactly.
So it felt like, hey, the rivalry, what happened in the previous game, Le'Veon Bell getting hurt, like there was bad blood there, and they let that get to them. That they, I mean, is that the feeling you got that Burfict just says, you know what, we won this game, let me just pop you?
Absolutely, and that what cost them the game. In that situation, Burfict and Pat Jones cost them the game, from the hit to the personal foul, allowed us to make the field goal and advance to the next round.
How tough was it to have to watch that next game?
Well, it's extremely tough, man. Anytime you at home watching the game, when you're so used to being with your brothers every weekend and being able to put your hand in the pile, be the reason we win and help us win, was frustrating.
How close were you to playing in that game?
Yeah, it was no way possible. Yeah.
Doctor said even if you tried to lie, did you try to lie?
I tried to lie.
You did?
Yeah.
How do you try to lie to the doctor that?
Tell him like I'm all right, man. I'm pretty good.
But how do they know you're not?
Well, they do certain tests. I know they test your balance. They have you do some tests with your eyes to be able to move your head up and down and side to side. And the doctor can usually tell how your eyes focus, how your head moving, and he could do certain things to try to make you react even more. So they did a good job. Dr. Collins did a good job taking care of me, and I'm thankful that I'm feeling great right now. I'm able to work out and feel good.
Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown played his ass off in the game last night. The Pittsburgh Steelers played the Chiefs. After the game, he was Facebook Living from inside of the locker room.
So be it. We'll be ready for the ass.
But the problem is the head coach didn't know that he was Facebook Living.
I want to talk to you about the post-game video. I want to talk about it in really kind of three specific areas. First, the content of the video. I'd like to say that the language on the video is regrettable, language by me and by others. And it's regrettable because this platform that we have is a precious and awesome thing, and not something that we take very lightly. The responsibility associated with being in this thing, just from a role model standpoint, is something that I personally embrace, is something that we as a team and organization embraces. And so that's why the language specifically in terms of the content is regrettable, because we're very sensitive to the opportunity that we have as role models. As a parent, as a member of a community, I take that very seriously. In regard to the content of the video relative to its impact on this game or our preparation as a distraction and New England's motivation and so forth,
instead of talking about the Steelers' win at Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday, everyone is buzzing about Antonio Brown Facebook live streaming his coach Mike Tomlin delivering a speech filled with curse words and insults toward the Patriots. On Monday morning, Tom Brady gave his reaction. Appearing on WEEI's Kirk and Callahan, Brady said, quote, "That's against our team policy. Don't think that would go over well with coach. What's done in the locker room should stay in the locker room."
I have absolutely no worries regarding. We're in the AFC Championship. You're not going to creep in the back door of New England and win a football game and creep out of there with an AFC Championship. We realize that it's 4 teams working this week and it's 28 watching. So from that perspective, got very little concern about the content of the video. The last element of the discussion is Antonio himself. And I'll be bluntly honest here. It was foolish of him to do that. It was selfish for him to do that. And it was inconsiderate for him to do that. Not only is it a violation of our policy, it is a violation of league policy, both of which he knows. So there are consequences to be dealt with from his perspective. We will punish him, we won't punish us, and we'll do so swiftly, and we'll do so internally. And I'll imagine that there are consequences associated with the National Football League's policy in that regard. I'm sure that he'll appropriately absorb all of those things, and as he moves forward. But larger than that, he's got to grow from this. He has to. He works extremely hard. He's extremely talented. And those things get minimized with incidences such as this. You wear on your teammates when they have to routinely answer questions about things that aren't preparation or football related. It's our desire for him and everyone to be great teammates as well as great players.
I'm not angry at AB. It's just disappointing that that sacred time was kind of violated a little bit, and that he wasn't paying attention to coaching and myself talking after the game.
And he's a great player. He's a hard-working player. He's respected largely in the locker room for those things. But incidences such as this, don't help him in that regard, and that's just the reality of it. I think that's oftentimes why you see great players move around from team to team. And I definitely don't want that to be his story. I'm sure he doesn't want that to be his story. So he has to address these things that put him and us in positions from time to time as settings such as this where it needs to be addressed. But other than that, hadn't wasted a lot of time with it, to be honest with you. I haven't visited with him because on Monday and Tuesday I prepare for games.
Now, this isn't the distraction you want before you play Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, but Big Ben said it's water under the bridge. Mike Tomlin, however, told the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette AB's decision was foolish and, quote, that's often why you see great players move from team to team. Don't want that to happen to Antonio Brown.
The Facebook video that got you in trouble. What the hell were you thinking?
I got emotionally caught up in the atmosphere and was excited, and I'm sorry for the video, but we all make mistakes, We learn from it, and,
right?
And move on. I never meant to embarrass the organization, make my teammates feel any other than I'm with them and with the guys.
3 receivers in the game. Your name is consistently on the list. And what bothers me is that I'm reading reports out of Pittsburgh where you got folks talking about you should be traded because you're a distraction and you're not worth the money.
Well, you can't listen to people. I know where I stand with the organization. I know how my teammates feel about me. I know where I want to be, and that's all important. The media has a job with putting out things that are true. We have a lot of people look at this show, look at things around the media that they put out, and it's just been sad, the things they've been saying about me as in late. I know criticism comes with the job and the position I'm in, and I'm willing and able to accept that position and know what come with it. But to say those type of things is just not true.
And doesn't that fire you up and kind of refocus you to get back on the field next year?
It motivates you. And every year you got to find encouragement and motivation to go back out there and be your best self. And I think it would have been inspiring for me this year in 2017.
You're an all-time producer. You're not just one of the best receivers now. You're having a prime that rivals any prime in the history of the game. How are you going to replace that? However, it only became a story because Mike Tomlin, your coach, said, hey, when guys do that, that's why you see guys not spend their whole career in one place. It was your coach that set that off. What did you think when you read that quote?
Publicly, it was kind of harsh when you hear those type of things. But I know his intention. I got a great relationship with Coach Tomlin. I know what he means in regards of how he feel about me as a player. And, I just think he had to come down harsh. It's championship week. Of course, of a big game and a big game week. We're just trying to harden the distraction and minimize it in regards to the game.
You have not gotten your money yet. You have been very reliable. Damn right, they couldn't stay off the weed. My point is that's not your issue. Do you want to be in Pittsburgh for years to come?
Steelers for life.
I think at this point, most importantly, he has a lot of records, he has a lot of accolades. There's really only one thing that's on his mind and our mind, and that's bringing another Super Bowl trophy here. We're excited to have Antonio back and get this contract done early. Antonio, it's all yours.
Steelers select Juju Smith-Schuster from USC.
Wow. That's interesting, given that Martavis Bryant was just reinstated from his suspension.
Get my people out them chains, nigga. I mean handcuffs. Time to man up. Put my hands up. Fuck you saying, bruh? Cause I'm a black man in the Phantom. Or is it cause my windows tinted? Car cost $300,000 and I blow endo in it. You mad cause your daughter fuck with me on spring break? Well, I'ma fuck her till the spring break.
Roll another one cause I'm winning. In my photo, looking real photogenic. Gentleman attire in threads that won't expire. I'm in the class of my own, my teacher got fired. Money getting low, pussy rate keep rising. Versace outfit cost me $3,000. From the P houses, did it from the wee hours. Selling that chicken, no lemon pepper, no sweet and sour. First you get the power, then you get respect. I'm getting so much money, I can buy your bitch. Take it how you wanna, if you wanna take it. I like clubs where all the women working naked. Fell in love with a waitress, what the fuck I'm thinking? Bought that whole ring, it was for a pinky. That's pimpin', that's slick. Got a bottle of cologne that costs more than your rent.
Fuck y'all mad at me for. Got a black card and a black Phantom with a white bitch in Idaho. I do the same thing in Montana. Got a thick bitch in Atlanta. Got a red bone in the shop. Got 2 chains, they two-tone, 200 racks, no lie. Ale Boombaye, Ale Boombaye. I'm about to rumble in the jungle in these new Kanyes. Ale Boombaye, Ale Boombaye. My lawyer threw them gloves on and beat another case. Fuck y'all mad at me, folks. My belt got 2 G's on it, her bag got 2 C's on it. My daughter stroller got D's on it. Whoa. Free Big Meech, free Boosie, and see murder. Like New Orleans, like Baltimore, come to Compton, you'll see murders. And my ARC murders, that's beef, nigga, no burgers. I'm insane and you sane, nigga, better turn on them burners. Got coke swimming in that glass jar, bitch, go turn on them burners. Got dope to sell in this hotel, no half price, no retail. You a bitch, nigga, no female. I smack niggas, free will. I'm on the block like D12, I got the white, no D12. Like a little nigga in Africa, I was born toting that K. And that's real shit, no Will Smith and no known the gate. But they yelling, Ale Boombaye, Ale Boombaye. Thank God that a nigga seen another day. Ale Boombaye, Ale Boombaye. Got a chopper and a bottle, fucking let him spray.
I take my case to trial, hire the dream team. Robbie Kardashian, Johnny Cochran, I seen things. I dream big, I think sharp. Inhale smoke, Hawaiian tree bar. Humble yourself, you not a G, keep it one with yourself. Running niggas for help favors, I keep one on the shelf. I got rifles with lasers, swing it just like the majors. Hit you right above navel, now you swimming in pavement. Gold medals on my neck, I call it Michael Phelps. Hoes settling for less, I call them bottom shelf. Niggas tough on them blogs and never did nothing at all. On the road to the richest, bitches not tagging along.
Bless his ass in the thong, hit that ass and I'm gone. Disrespect my nigga boss and I'm flashing the chrome. I'm waving the tech, titty spraying the Mac. Extend those in the back on the lap. I got a bitch that look like Layla Ali sitting in my lap. Got a call from skateboard, pick 'em up and lax. Speaking skateboards, where tune at? Fuck with him, I break a skateboard on the nigga back. 2 chains.
Skateboard on a nigga track. No lie, already got a plaque. Mama got a house, daughter got accounts. Just to think a nigga like me started with an ounce. Bad bitches and D-boys, we bring them out. If them niggas pussy, we dush them, we clean them out. This the voice of ghetto intelligence. If you got work, go to work, don't work at your residence.
For presidents, word to Muhammad, that triple beam is heaven sent. Riding through the jungles in that motherfucking elephant. That's a great ghost, with them ears on it. Swimming through the hood like it got fins on it. You know I got that work on the Foreman grill. Waiting motherfuckers in, made another meal. Got a nigga feeling like Cassius Clay. Thriller and Manila, nigga want it, whoop his ass today. Ale Boombaye, Ale Boombaye. Thank God that a nigga seen another day. Ale Boombaye, Ale Boombaye. Got a chopper and a bottle, fucking let him spray.
Catches, 185 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Those were Antonio Brown's numbers in his final game of the year, Week 16. He did not play in a must-win Week 17 game against Cincinnati. The story was he had knee discomfort. The truth was he had a beef with a player in practice Wednesday. That player reportedly was Ben Roethlisberger. Brown then sat out practice the rest of the week, skipped Saturday night meetings and a walkthrough, then showed up Sunday expecting to play. Team didn't play him. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette broke the news. More details have been added since, and none of it adds up to anything that's a good look for Brown. It's not new. There are any number of examples of this remarkably talented player behaving in a way that would never be tolerated were he not one of the very best players in the NFL.
More big problems for Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown. This time he is accused of going on a violent, furniture-smashing rampage at his apartment in Florida, nearly killing a 22-month-old toddler.
So you see the furniture landing in the pool, landing on the pool deck, people scrambling.
Item after item, furniture falling at a luxurious hotel and condo, tossed into the pool area as families and sunbathers look up, then run from what's coming down. The man accused of throwing it that April day last year in Sunny Isles, NFL All-Pro and Miami native Antonio Brown.
They called security, they called police, they responded to the scene.
When the police got there, Mr. Brown was extremely agitated and was being restrained by a trainer.
No arrests were made, but the father claims that the kid was very lucky he wasn't killed or injured because the furniture was landing mere feet from him.
And look at who was down at the pool as the items dropped, a little boy and others. The near misses spawned an additional suit.
And that other lawsuit that you mentioned was filed by the guardian of a minor child who apparently was on the pool deck and was nearly struck.
So the father is very upset. He's suing, claiming the kid has been having night terrors. He's very traumatized by this. He wants a lot of money from Antonio Brown. We have reached out to Antonio Brown for comment to get his side of the story. We haven't heard back.
Let's start in Pittsburgh, where the Steelers season may be over, but the drama around them keeps growing. Yesterday, a report claimed that Antonio Brown was actually benched for the team's final game after skipping practices and throwing a football at Big Ben during a walkthrough. Big Ben denied that part of the report, but acknowledged he was in the dark about what led to Brown's absence leading up to the game.
Not really sure because I had heard some mixed things about a knee, and then he wasn't really there to get the opportunity to speak to him. Like I said, I reached out to him numerous times, called, texted, and tried to talk to him to find out what was going on, and just hadn't heard back. So I really couldn't get any answers for you.
A very big story this morning. Could this be the end of the Triple Bs in Pittsburgh? An always dramatic Steelers locker room took an even more dramatic turn yesterday. According to multiple reports, Antonio Brown got into a heated argument with Ben Roethlisberger earlier in the week. He reportedly threw a ball at him, walked off, skipped multiple practices, and did not return for the rest of the week. Antonio Brown did show up to Heinz Field on Sunday, however, expecting to play, and he was told he would not be. He reportedly left at halftime in frustration. All right.
This is not typical Steelers drama. This is not an example of what Coach Mangini would talk about saying at different families. This is a big deal. This week was a playoff game for Pittsburgh. I know they needed help to get into the playoffs. One thing they knew, if they lost to Cincinnati, their season was over. That means it was a playoff week for them and a playoff game for them. Antonio Brown is the best player on this football team. And the dust up between he and Ben Roethlisberger, I can understand that. There's a circumstance you could present to me where I would say, hey, I might have thrown the ball at him too, depending on how it went down. And I'm sure Bart can elaborate on that. But not showing up to work the following days, forcing Mike Tomlin's hand to where Mike Tomlin had no choice but to bench the best player on his team in their most important game of the year. That's a really big deal and a really bad look for a player in Antonio Brown who has had a really rough season when it comes to things other than catching footballs and catching touchdowns.
This is where Mike Tomlin has to put his foot down and shop Antonio Brown. Now, obviously, you want to get something for him, right? He's one of the best wide receivers in the league. Matter of fact, he's one of the best football players in the league.
No doubt.
Juju Smith-Schuster has shown you he could be a number one. Ben Roethlisberger speaks glowingly of James Washington. But this is about the fabric of the team. This is about the guy that goes Facebook Live as your coach is talking and leaks information outside the locker room that never should be there. This is about the guy that publicly talks about not getting the ball or issues with the offense coordinator, knocks over garbage cans or knocks over Gatorade bottles and cans because he doesn't get the rock. At some point, when you're an organization that's built on team, organization that's built on integrity, you have to show the rest of the locker room that. And will he be good going forward? Probably so. But you have to take that stand.
You're saying shop him.
You have to. It's time for him to go.
Yeah, this goes back to in the offseason when he's dealing with a lawsuit about allegedly throwing furniture off a balcony and almost striking a toddler down at a pool condo. Like, it was an incident where he skipped a practice after having a dust up after a September 16th loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, these things can't happen from the best player on your team. And Antonio Brown this offseason needs to figure out what type of NFL player he wants to be and what type of career and where he wants that career to be moving forward.
After Big Ben spoke to the media, CBS's Jason Lockenford dropped this bomb, tweeting, quote, Antonio Brown has requested a trade. I'm told it was not a demand, but he has asked to be dealt. Very unlikely Rooney would capitulate. Brown has issues with Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger. Feels like the coach is too aligned with the QB.
I need to counsel about better opportunities, better circumstances. You don't know what we got to know. I do know it all. It's Google, it's detailed references. Whatever I need to know, I can know. Steelers for life.
Antonio Brown essentially officially has requested a trade from the Pittsburgh Steelers. This does not surprise people, but this today is a public declaration that he wants out. He basically is bidding farewell to the city of Pittsburgh and to the Steelers organization as a whole. He does not want to be a part of that organization anymore, whether it's time to divorce from Ben Roethlisberger, the coaching staff, his teammates, whatever it may be. Antonio Brown wants a fresh start in another city that isn't Pittsburgh. He wants out. He said it today as plainly as he could say it. I think he's challenging the Pittsburgh Steelers, who ultimately control his rights here and decide whether or not to trade him, where to trade him, that he wants out. He's going to defy them in every way possible to let it be known Antonio Brown does not want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler anymore.
Antonio Brown on the move. The Steelers said they wanted a trade by Friday. It's nearing midnight in Pittsburgh, and Antonio Brown is headed to the Buffalo Bills.
Heard from the Buffalo Bills, they're now officially out on the Antonio Brown trade situation. We went from last night to being close on trade compensation to a deal being nearly there. Just wanted to clear that final hurdle, and then based on what the Bills heard late last night and again early this morning, they decided that it did not make sense for them to trade for Antonio Brown, and they are moving on. And, of course, the biggest question here is, would Antonio Brown have showed up had the Buffalo Bills traded for him? And ultimately, what they decided after some strong conversations is that it was not worth wondering, not worth the drama of, will Antonio Brown show up in Buffalo? Will he not? They are officially moving on, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers need to find another suitor if they're going to trade AB before the 2019 season.
Because according to Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Steelers were close to finalizing a trade with the Bills when Brown indicated he would not report to Buffalo if traded there. Are you surprised by how much power Antonio Brown seemed to exercise here?
No, who would be surprised by this? The man that just did an interview in his palatial Florida estate explaining that he doesn't need football, he just plays because he wants to. Am I surprised that he said, I don't want to go to Buffalo? No, zero surprise whatsoever.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hollywood Sports. Guys, we got some breaking news. ESPN has reported that the Pittsburgh Steelers receiver Antonio Brown has been traded to the Oakland Raiders. Antonio Brown of the Pittsburgh Steelers has been traded to the Oakland Raiders.
Tweeting a picture of himself in a Raiders uniform, so trading in the yellow and black for the black and silver. The Steelers reaching an agreement to trade the four-time All-Pro to Oakland for a fifth-round pick and a third-round pick. So he'll be Derek Carr's new top target.
Look, the Pittsburgh Steelers essentially turned the deal over to Antonio Brown and Drew Rosenhaus, his client, to make here. And they spent the last 48 hours in discussion with multiple teams. He had 3 years and $38.9 million left on that deal. They are now giving him a new 3-year deal that's worth up to $54.125 million, with $30.125 million in guaranteed money. Once Antonio Brown was satisfied financially, then, of course, that was a key element here to go ahead and make the deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
My apologies to ESPN. I'm not supposed to use this word. I'm pissed off, and I'm going to say it. I can't believe that the Steelers made this move.
The Raiders, Skip, I mean, this was a no-brainer for the Raiders. They had the cap space, and they're about to embark upon something next year. They're moving to a new locale. Skip, they need players.
Forget what the Steelers ultimately are going to do.
They need stars going to Las Vegas. Antonio Brown is a star. However you think he did to get out of this situation, he pouted, he sulked, he quit on his team.
Does not matter what Kevin Goldberg and Mike Tomlin and Steelers organization, led by the Rooney family, does moving forward.
The fact of the matter is, someone got 6 consecutive seasons in which he had 100 catches. Someone went to 7 Pro Bowls, straight Pro Bowls. Someone is a 4-time first-team All-Pro player.
If I started off this season, if I started off free agency and I said to you, arguably the #1 receiver in football and the #1 running back in football.
More than a year away from football, Le'Veon Bell has agreed on a 4-year, $52 million contract with the New York Jets.
Are going to end up being a 3rd-round pick, a 3rd-round compensatory pick, and a 5th-round pick, what would you say? Somebody would immediately be demanding that I be drug tested.
Antonio Brown is one of those. And the Raiders got him for a 3rd and a 5th-round draft pick.
It's going to be for a 3rd-round pick. It's going to be for a 5th-round pick. So it's not exactly a huge return for a player who has had the unparalleled production that Antonio Brown has had.
And in Vegas, Skip, if you want to be a show, there are a lot of shows that's going on in Vegas. And when the shows aren't really good, they don't last very long.
I'm excited to be here, man. I'm extremely grateful, and I'm looking to get things started. Headed to the Raiders facility, baby.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Love you,
I'm on my way to work, man.
Hey,
welcome,
thank you.
man.
Have a
All
good
day.
day.
Raider Nation, welcome.
Honor, bro. That's the studs right here. That's all the studs. I need to meet John Madden. Or Tim Brown. Tim up here? Fred Biletnikoff. Who's next? That's nice. A lot of great players come to Oakland. It's crazy. How you doing, Mr. Mayor? Good to see you, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
Dude, you look good in black.
I feel good, man.
This is awesome. You were a 6th-round pick. I was a 10th-round pick. So a couple kind of late slappies, and look at us now.
Look at us. Let's make it work. So I can pay off, right?
Hey, we got 4 draft picks in the first 35, so we're going to need you to kind of be, their mentor and helping them out a little bit, man.
I'm here to lead it and take this thing over.
Because I've watched you practice.
Whatever you need from me, I'll take this thing by whole. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Coach Kerr.
Good to see you. Coach, what up, Good to see you, man. Honor to be back with you, Coach. Some fun, baby.
Good visit.
Yes, Coach. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
How you feeling?
Good. I bet you are.
Did you make it in? I'm making it in. Coach, what up, baby? How you doing, Coach?
Love you, brother.
Good to see you, man. I'm so excited. I'm excited, Coach. Good to see you, baby.
Good at that hat, man.
Thank you, man.
Family here all right?
Yeah, they made it. Everything's good, Coach.
Come on,
Honor, man. Thanks, Coach. I'm ready to see you, baby.
Oh, yeah.
First day of school, baby. Let's go, baby. First day of school. First day of a great start. Headed to work for the first time. This great journey, man. New beginning, fresh start. Today, from this day on, working towards getting that Super Bowl. See you, bro. How you feeling? Good, man. See you. Man, what's going on, man?
Do you think he's going to be a distraction moving forward? Do you think he can really change now that he's in a new environment?
What I was always keen to in New England when we brought somebody else in from another organization that had a history was there is no judgment once you walk through the door, okay? Everything you did was in the past, and so let's just develop a relationship and become a teammate. And right now, you got a clean slate, man. Let's go. Let's play some football. Let's get together. Let's work out. All that stuff with Derek Carr. Now, when the first time it happens again, that's when you got to have a conversation. I hope the leaders in the Raiders locker room know that. The accountability you're talking about, let's talk. Immediately. That's when it has to happen. If I was Antonio Brown, I'd stop talking about all the accountability stuff and focus on leading by example first. Just do that. It's inevitable. It's inevitable that the distraction will happen. He'll be late for a meeting. Something will happen.
Antonio Brown is playing for the Raiders now, or at least he's supposed to be, but he hasn't been practicing much.
Now, reports say that he's got a foot injury and that a type of therapy is to blame.
Frostbite is reportedly to blame for sidelining Antonio Brown. He reportedly went to France last month to undergo cryotherapy. The source says he didn't wear the proper footwear, and as a result, his feet were frostbitten.
Are you sure you want to say that?
You look like you're walking a little funny.
Yeah, my feet is pretty much getting circumcised, right? That's kind of like a pullback right now. Yeah, I got circumcised on my feet, you know. Hopefully my feet born again and I freaking can run faster. Feel sorry for me later.
Poor John Gruden must be about to go completely over the edge. I would love to have been a fly on the wall maybe yesterday because this could have been the all-time rant. This no good. So we paid all this money, and now I can't even get him to practice. But look, if you miss another couple of weeks of this, you miss 2 weeks of rapport with the new quarterback.
Right.
It's no good.
Right.
It cannot help this football team.
No, new offense.
We know about the foot issue with Antonio Brown, the injuries he suffered in France last month, burning his feet in the cryotherapy chamber. But there's actually an issue that right now is factoring more into his decision not to be there, not to practice, than the feet right now. And that is this. The NFL passed rules last spring that said certain helmets will not be allowed to be worn. And Antonio Brown is adamant that he continues to get to wear his old helmet, which he knows and is comfortable with and has protected him through the years, but that helmet is on the NFL's ban list. That he has actually told the team that he will not play football again unless he gets to wear his old helmet.
There are 2,880 players in the NFL. 2,879 of them have conformed to the rules and found a helmet suitable enough to wear for the upcoming season. One hasn't. One continues to wage a daily battle to try to find the helmet that he wants to wear, which is obviously worn down the Raiders. And the good part is Antonio Brown showed back up to work yesterday. He reported for duty. He is expected to practice, though we'll see what helmet he decides to wear. And I think the season opens now in under 3 weeks.
What is going on with Antonio Brown?
Right now, I think it's time for me to give it up. You know, I love AB, but right now, everything is looking real selfish, real me.
He tweeted, "I respect his game, but I can't wait to smash this dude." Speaking of AB, no need for that. And Rams safety Eric Weddle responded, "No need for that, showing true colors right here. No respect for this dude."
And I think the world is kind of starting to see it now. Even other players around the league who have no affiliation with the Oakland Raiders, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're kind of over the antics. They know that there is a code that has been broken here with Antonio Brown.
The problem is, I never in my wildest dreams believed that he would come across as such a flaming idiot with this argument over helmets. Now,
I expect a lot more drama from number 84, I really do.
The signals were there from day one, when those who covered Brown in Pittsburgh fired a warning shot.
If things break down or things don't go his way, yes, you'll see problems. I'm sure you will.
His prediction was spot on. Brown missed time after suffering frostbitten feet suffered in cryotherapy, and then he filed grievances against the NFL because the league wouldn't allow him to use his helmet.
We have supported that. We appreciate that. Okay, but at this point, we've pretty much exhausted all avenues of relief.
It was clear The Raiders decided general manager Mike Mayock would be the guy to keep Brown in line.
Well, from our perspective, it's time for him to be all in or all out.
His threats went unheeded. Brown continued to be a distraction.
Another unbelievable twist to this saga before AB has even played a game with the Raiders.
This is a developing situation. This stems yesterday when Antonio Brown posted Mike Mayock's letter to him in which he was fining him over $54,000.
Brown's response was, "When your own team want to hate, but there's no stopping me now, devil is alive. Everyone got to pay this year, so we clear."
But it obviously led to some sort of heated exchange / confrontation / something that happened between Mike Mayock and Antonio Brown.
He and Mayock got into a heated exchange at practice, with Brown threatening Mayock.
Antonio Brown's not in the building today. He won't be practicing.
Basically, Antonio Brown got sent away, and I'm told that the team is planning to suspend him. There's this latest flare-up, and it sounds like it is intense, and it sounds like it is unusual, and it sounds like the Raiders are going to be without their star wide receiver when they open the season Monday night on Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos.
And the team did their best to deflect the attention away from the star receiver.
I'm not going to get into all this. If you want to ask about the Raiders, I've been talking about the same guy every day.
I don't know nothing about it, man. You're asking the wrong person. Yeah.
I think deep down, I think he's a really good guy. So I'm frustrated. I'm not going to say any more about it. Hope it all works out.
Yeah, John Gruden did say that a decision on his status for Monday night's game would come later on today. That decision could spill over into Saturday when the team goes to Denver. One thing's for sure, Alan, this team, the Raiders, they're going to move on with or without him this season. And to date, they have not paid him a dime of his new contract that he signed a handful of months ago.
Since when is it hating that you got to show up for work? That's not hating. That's just requiring the same thing out of you that they require out of everybody else.
I think if you ask John Gruden, he's going to have one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver out there on the field Monday night against the Denver Broncos playing that game. I think if you ask Mike Mayock, he's saying, what do we do having to deal with all this, all these issues, the helmet stuff, him being late, me sending him a fine letter, him posting the fine letter on social media. So, again, this is what you get with a player like this. You get the extreme talent that you're talking about, and you get some of the drama that comes along with it.
When you say they knew what they were getting, I don't know if they thought they were getting it before they even played a game. Guys like Antonio Brown, it never ends well. Right. Look back at the history of receivers with this, any kind of this sort of stuff around them. It rarely ends well, and it doesn't always end when you expect it to. Right. I wouldn't bet you my life savings that he makes it through the season in Oakland.
When I first came in, boom, I got drafted by the Raiders. We had signed AB, Richie, Vontaze Burfict. You think about the craziest motherfucker, they were all on our team. So I didn't know what to expect. AB as a person, like if AB sat here with us right now and you genuinely, like, it's just us in the room, no cameras, nothing, you would love AB. You would love AB. You'd be like, he's down to earth, he's a great dude. But the second he left the building, bro, you didn't know what the fuck was about to happen. You would go home and all of a sudden there's something on Instagram. And then, like, as the shit started getting crazy, because he came in, he burned his feet off. And then he had the helmet shit. So he was never practicing. He never was around the offseason. We're like, what the fuck is going on? He would show up here and there. He had his own posse. So it was like in the weight room, he had his own trainers come. So it was just a lot, bro. But my experience one-on-one with him, outside of the media, outside of that shit, like he was cool as fuck. And like we were just waiting. Like we're like, okay, is AB even going to play? Like there was something after. There's just always something. He came up, bro. All the captains went up there. AB walked up on the stage. He apologized. We're like, all right, bet. So we're like, okay, he's about to play. Like, fuck yeah, AB's on board now. So everyone's excited. Bro, that night he posted the shit with Gruden and how.
Yep.
Antonio, coach is on the line.
AB.
Coach.
Hello.
Yo, what's up, coach?
What the hell's going on, man?
Just a villain all over the news, man.
Is Antonio all right?
He didn't behave like this before he started getting his money.
There's something wrong with AB.
Antonio Brown has been an absolute embarrassment. You're not a villain. You're the most misunderstood fucking human being in my entire life that I've ever met.
I mean, I brought you here because you're my favorite guy. I've never seen a guy work hard. And I don't know where you are in your life right now off the street. All I know is you got a lot of things going. There's a lot of people that have an opinion about you. And whether it be good or bad, you're in the spotlight all the time. Let me ask you this, do you want to be a Raider or not?
Man, I've been trying to be a Raider since day one. I've been fucking working my ass off harder than anyone. I don't know why it's a question of me being a Raider. Like, you guys want me to be a Raider.
Please stop this shit and just play football. How hard is it, man? You're a great football player. Just play football.
Yeah, but I'm more than a football player, man. I'm a real person. It ain't about the football. I know how to do that. I'll show you guys down the daily. This is my life. Ain't no more games.
And by the next morning, he was cut.
They lost it. Let me see it.
Look up Adam Schefter.
The Raiders free. Bro, let's go.
Oh, fucking nigga.
Oh! The freedom bell ring got me flying like a free. Fly like an eagle. Let's go. Free. Let's go. Oh, I'm free. Oh. Oh. Grandma, they freed me. They freed me, Grandma. I told you gonna work out. Ah, God is the greatest.
Saga that never ends has reached something of an end, at least for now, in Oakland, with the Raiders officially releasing Antonio Brown as he requested be done early this morning. The release after the Raiders fined him over $215,000, told him that he would not be entitled to any termination pay in a separate letter, and basically voided his guarantees.
He posted on Instagram and asked the Raiders to release him. A few hours after the Oakland Raiders cut Antonio Brown, he was picked up by the New England Patriots. It's a one-year deal worth $15 million. In other words, the money that Oakland refused to pay Antonio Brown for acting out, the New England Patriots did. And so now Tom Brady, the Super Bowl champion many times over, has a new favorite target to go alongside Julian Edelman and Josh Gordon.
We're supposed to believe that you did all of that in Oakland for business purposes? No, you were incredibly, incredibly selfish in ways that nobody in NFL history, as I'm concerned, can point to in terms of being comparable. That it is inexcusable, it is embarrassing, and I'm ashamed. And I'm ashamed to see what he has done. It's disgraceful.
I trust in myself and the ground upon which I stand. And these moments right here just make us feel confident because we know who we really are. When you forget the truth and experience warrior doubt, you gotta shift your thoughts to remember who I really am. I leave here at 7 o'clock, but I ain't coming home at 9 o'clock. I gotta work out my mind now with just strategic stuff and what I'm doing, just being a leader. I am confident that I can weather any storm. The journey continues.
In a newly filed civil lawsuit, superstar wide receiver Antonio Brown is accused of sexually assaulting his former fitness trainer. The allegations breaking just days after the 31-year-old ignited a firestorm by demanding his release from the Oakland Raiders and then signing with the New England Patriots for $15 million just days later. Brown's accuser identifying herself as 28-year-old Brittany Taylor, a former LSU gymnast who began working with Brown in 2017. According to the lawsuit, she says he exploited and sexually assaulted her after she claims he used manipulation and false promises to lure her into his world.
The fact that she's using her name, I think it lends credibility
to what she is saying and what the lawsuit is saying.
Brown has not been charged criminally. In a statement from Brown's attorney, the 7-time Pro Bowler denies each and every allegation in the lawsuit and claims Brown and Taylor were involved in a consensual personal relationship.
And what I want to emphasize is that Antonio takes these allegations very seriously. He is a loving father of 5 children, including a daughter. I wouldn't be doing this interview if I didn't believe Antonio. These allegations are false. He denies every one of them. I am very confident that his legal team has facts that will prove this. All we can ask for is that people keep in mind that this is a civil matter. This is not a criminal matter.
On Antonio's situation, both Antonio and his representatives have made statements, so I'm not going to be expanding on any of those. They are what they are. We've looked into the situation. We're taking it very seriously, all the way through the organization. Sure, there are questions, but I'm not going to be in any discussion about that.
Bill, were you aware of the lawsuit when you signed Antonio Brown?
I'm not going to be expanding on statements that have already been given.
Don't you think the fans deserve to hear a little more from you on such a major development that, could impact the team?
Yeah, I just said that.
Don't you think fans deserve to hear a little bit more?
When we know more, we'll say more.
Are you preparing to have Antonio Brown in practice today?
Yes.
And are you preparing for him to play on Sunday?
We're taking it one day at a time, just like we always do.
Brady from the gun. Fires. He's got Brown. They get him involved right away. Works. He prepares. Follow his lead. 2nd and 9. Brady. Feeding to the sideline. It's Brown. New set of downs for New England inside the 20. Brady pats and throws. Catch and curl. The locker room. He's a big kid. I'm still adjusting to life without him. Brown gets the carry. Identity and developing it over the course of the season. Brady. End zone. Caught by Brown. Touchdown. New England. Antonio Brown, the newest Patriot, plunging into the stands in his hometown.
He is very comfortable with number 17. Going against first-year player Jamal Wiltz. A little bit of a shove there, the ball right on target.
And we have learned that settlement discussions between Antonio Brown and his accuser began as early as April. Brown not speaking to reporters after his Patriots debut on Sunday, instead letting his play do all the talking.
Antonio Brown speaks for the first time since being accused of rape. Antonio recorded a video message, and he says he's keeping the faith.
In the time of crisis, all I ask is love. The devil gonna try to bring you down when you get closer to your goals. The key is, don't let him.
The Patriots' new $15 million man posted his workout on Instagram at star quarterback Tom Brady's TB12 training facility.
No matter what they say, no matter what they hate, somebody still got to go to work.
There are questions about Antonio. We take all the situations with our team very seriously, and there are some things that we're looking into, but I'm not going to have any comment on any of the off-the-field situations or questions on that. So anything on football, happy to answer.
Coach, can you just talk a little bit about Antonio Brown's role this weekend?
No, I'm not going to get into that.
Bill, another headline today focusing on Antonio Brown. Does any of this at all affect his status with the team?
Yeah, I think I've already addressed this. So we're going to get ready for the Jets here. Happy to answer any football questions, but the rest of it, I'm done with the rest of it.
We have a point where some off-field stuff is not enough.
So, yeah, I'm good. Okay, thank you. Well, yeah, we had enough of that.
I said a non-Antonio Brown.
Patriots are releasing Antonio Brown. We appreciate the hard work of many people over the past 11 days, but we feel that it is best to move in a different direction at this time. Antonio Brown took to social media. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate Patriots. He also had another one. Love you, champ. That was fun. Go win it. Do it for me. Of course, making reference to Tom Brady.
This is one that was building for the New England Patriots and for Antonio Brown ever since late last night when Sports Illustrated came out with the text messages that Antonio Brown had sent a second accuser, someone who had accused him of making unwanted sexual advances. Antonio Brown essentially asked the people on the text message to dig up dirt on this accuser. I was able to confirm that it was Antonio Brown on the text. Second accuser's lawyers reached out to the NFL and asked that Antonio Brown basically stop sending these text messages. And at that point, it was pretty clear that the Patriots were starting to do some additional homework on Antonio Brown. And then the Patriots decided to officially informing Antonio Brown that he was no longer a member of the team. Now, once again, he is over. His tenure is over with the Patriots.
Just one game into week 3, and Antonio Brown has already been released by not one but 2 teams. So what's next for the embattled wide receiver?
Scott Hanson here on a monumental day in NFL history. The Brady-Belichick Patriots dynasty, one of the greatest in the history of sports, is over. Tom Brady said goodbye to New England in a lengthy social media post early this morning. He will play somewhere else in 2020.
My understanding is that former Patriots quarterback Tom Brady has an agreement in principle to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as their new quarterback. And it has looked like all day it was going in this direction. The Bucs have been very quietly confident. Anytime you talk to anyone in the building, it was almost like they didn't want to jinx it because it was clear that Tom Brady wanted it. Looks like Tom Brady is going to be throwing to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and a ton of other weapons for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just a massive day in Tampa.
The fact that Antonio Brown's going to that Tampa Bay team, though, is wild because, I mean, that team looks like they're just hitting their stride, and now they get a chance to get one of the most explosive players to ever play football all of a sudden who looks like he's in better shape than ever. I mean, this is potentially problematic for the entire NFC for sure.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl. That's what the hell AB means. Now, do they need him per se? Listen, they've got an embarrassment of riches already. Chris Godwin's back. Mike Evans is there. Gronk is playing like Gronk over the last couple of games. When you look at them with Fournette at your running back spot, well, the reality of the situation is you add Antonio Brown to the mix. He's better than all of them. He's better than all of them.
And they're damn good.
And then you got Brady flat out balling. And this defense that Todd Bowles is running. Oh, my Lord. These brothers can ball. Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to the Super Bowl.
Masterminds. We're going to get this forever. You know, whenever we link up, my nigga.
Had a lot to do with wherever his family wanted to go.
Second down and wow, nice grab. Snatching it out of the air to Antonio Brown for a first down.
Going to get excited about something tonight, Tampa. There you go. That is the kind of play we saw.
Jay, I got it. First tag for the hills. I'm a big
It's caught by Brown. That time Brown tried to undercut it, didn't work.
And Antonio Brown didn't have it that time, and Tom threw a better football with this one. You can see he's a little bit flat-footed, has to wait a little bit. Shouldn't have tried to undercut that one. He's not going to get the...
3rd and 4. Brady again. Quick throw. And it is caught. Antonio Brown in heavy traffic. 2nd and 11. Brady to throw. Back shoulder. Antonio Brown.
You couldn't stop me if you tried. Motherfucker, because the devil is alive.
He gets on top there. As long as you think for a minute he might be taking that field. Then just snap it in the first half.
Fournette in the game now, but they will throw it, and Brady will catch. Perfect throw to start the first half with Antonio Brown on the receiving end. 4-man rush. Brady.
The devil is alive.
The devil is alive. Antonio Brown.
Bitch, I'm the truth.
Touchdown, Tampa
The
Bay.
devil is alive. Bitch, I'm the proof. The devil is alive. The devil is alive.
It took him a while to get to it, but Isaiah Oliver's out of the lineup.
They're going crazy down on the Olympic level. We're shooting a video on the men's level. I know that it's coming back to do what he does. Be the GOAT. Big 84.
Niggas dick dirty, but it's dick
Just over 100 seconds left in the half.
8 back in coverage for Detroit. 3-man rush still getting to Brady with Ragland. Penalty marker is thrown as Antonio Brown throughout the entirety of the season.
6 cribs for the cars in the car lot.
shot again, and it is Antonio Brown for his second Tampa Bay touchdown. The Falcons organization, they want him to play big. Free pressure, but he gets rid of it right on target. It's Antonio Brown. Down to the 32 of Atlanta. On third down after the timeout. A lot of room to run. But Tom doesn't do that. For the end zone. The devil is alive. Antonio Brown. Bitch, I'm the truth. The devil is alive. Bitch, I'm the proof. The devil is alive. I got a ring. The devil is alive. Time for Brady. And he captures a flag down as Antonio Brown spins into the end zone. Touchdown. Baby, welcome to the dark side. Could've got blacklist for the crack shit. White Jesus in my crock pot. Mix the shit with some soda. Now I'm black Jesus, turn water to wine, and all I had to do was turn the stove up. East Coast, winning that life, nigga, cheat code. The hating is flaking, hit your free throws. The devil try to hit me with the Rico, them black people. Devil want these niggas hate their own kind. Gotta be the Illuminati if a nigga shine. Or it can't be a nigga if a nigga rich. Or it gotta be the devil, that's a nigga shit. You seen what I did to the stop and frisk. Brooklyn only Barney's like we on the bitch. Get the money to the hood, now we all win. Got that Barney's floor looking like a VIM. Black hoodie, black Scully. Bravado like Movado, boy, I'm that gully. Getting white money, but I'm still black. All these niggas claiming king, but I'm still black.
Brown with his Super Bowl touchdown.
Big guns, big whips. Rich nigga talking big shit. Double cup, gold wrist. Double up.
Antonio Brown, welcome back, son. As Antonio Brown gets his 6th career postseason touchdown on a reception from Tom.
The devil is alive. Bitch, I'm the truth. The devil is alive. Bitch, I'm the proof. The devil is alive. The devil is alive. Bitch, I'm alive. The devil is alive.
Well, I've been through a lot, man. And I wouldn't change it for anything. Adversity, persevering, fighting through, believing. To get to this point and be able to finish, man, I'm just super grateful. Appreciation with the right perspective, super grateful. And man, I couldn't write a better story.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are bringing back another member of their Super Bowl champion roster, wide receiver Antonio Brown. His agent recently told NFL Network just within the last half hour is returning to the Buccaneers on a one-year deal worth up to $6.25 million with a $2 million signing bonus. Again, that according to Antonio Brown's agent.
Antonio Brown, that's Antonio Brown without his uniform, we are told, without his jersey, and running onto the field.
Can you tell us what happened to Antonio Brown? Did he quit? I've never seen a guy leave a field like that, and is this the last strike for him?
He is no longer a Buck. All right, that's the end of the story. Let's talk about the guys that went out there and won the game.
How are you doing?
I mean, I try to keep myself good, but, you know, it's a fight. You know, life is a fight. Everything you go through is a fight. I play the Jets, and this week I'm really hurt. Like, so I'm, like, taking pictures to the coach, like, Coach, man, are we going to win the Super Bowl, man? I think I need to just take these last 2 weeks, at least, like, recover up so I could give you my best when we, to the time that I mean the most, so we here to win the Super Bowl. So the coach like, hey, man, we ain't resting. So Tom called me like, yo, this week, man, the Jets, man, they sweet, man. I'm gonna hit you with like 10 to 12. So he done gas me up. So, you know, me, that's all I need to hear. Like, yo, you gonna throw me the ball? You know what I'm saying? He done geek me up. So I'm like, yo, I'm already really fucked up. So I'm like, but you know, as a player, like if you fucked up and your team around you supporting you, you might suck it up for the team.
Oh, yeah,
like,
you gonna
know
suck
what?
it up for the fellas.
game. So I'm like, fuck it. I know my shit fucked up, but it's like, yo, if you gonna fuck with me like that, why not? You know, I got there to the state. Once I got to New York, I already felt the bad energy.
To be clear, you would not force a player to play.
You can't force a player to play. You can't force a player to play. I mean, they have that choice. It's their body.
An NFL Super Bowl team coach told a guy on the team who playing hurt, get the fuck out of here.
What's going on? I ain't getting the ball. That's when I said, you're done. Get the F out of here.
How did you feel in that moment when he said that to you?
That moment, I'm like, yo, I don't even want to be a part of this no more, man. I don't want to wear your uniform. In my mind, for the coach that, you know, I go to war with, I just text him I'm hurt, that I'm trying to still suck it up, to go to war for you.
Right.
And like here in the midst of the battle, you telling me get the hell out of here. Like
the former Buck was caught on video at a Dubai hotel shoving his bare buttocks into the face of a woman in an outdoor swimming pool. And then in the end, proceeded to whip out his manhood out of the water for everyone to see. It's being reported that this happened a few months back, but the video was just released publicly as of today, and a lot of people are up in arms over Antonio Brown's actions.
Sit your ass down, man. Get the fuck out the pool, man. Get your ass out the pool, man.
Newly obtained body camera video gives us a look inside an hours-long standoff between NFL star Antonio Brown and the Tampa Police Department. It happened on November 28th in Tampa, Florida. That's when Brown allegedly got in a physical fight with his ex-fiancée. She told investigators he threw a shoe at her and that he would shoot her if she came inside.
Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental health condition, and do you believe that has been a factor in any of these public incidents?
I never had a mental health diagnosis, like, you know what I mean? Like, I never had an issue or problem. I don't take pills. I just got a high IQ.
A lot of people say the CTE shit, right? They're like, Antonio Brown, because he got fucking zapped in the head by Perfect. He's lost his fucking mind. He's fucking nuts. He's crazy. His brain's fucking dead.
So people were saying I have CTE, but this is the same thing that killing players. We have players that recently just died from this issue. You know what I'm saying? That's what I just told you before we started.
Sure.
The same thing I walked off the field for that I didn't want to get, CTE, it's the same thing they put on me to say I got CTE to crazy. You freaking died at CTE. So how you gonna say a player that's living in real time, who putting up real stats, who's standing for real purposes, who doing real things got CTE? You guys get uncomfortable because you don't understand or you try to marginalize. Then you try to take me back to a moment that you think got me acting this way. Like, you think these people care about if I got CTE? Life is not about business. It's about people, man, human beings. These guys tell me get the fuck off the field, and now I got to answer questions about maybe having CTE.
You're saying you're the same person you were before that hit and after the hit. So you didn't feel...
It was always me versus the world. Until I found it's me versus me.
Just remember, what happens on earth stays on earth. We're gonna put it in reverse.
Darling, I told you many times, and now I'm telling you once again, just to remind you, sweetheart, that my...
Oh, Lamar, Hail Mary, your marijuana times is hard. Pray with the hooligan, shadows all in the dark. Fellowship with demons and relatives, I'm a star. Life is one funny motherfucker. A true comedian, you gotta love him, you gotta trust him. I might be bugging, infomercials and no sleep. Introverted by my thoughts, children listen, it gets deep. See, once upon a time inside the Nicholson Garden Projects, the object was to process and digest poverty's dialect. Adaptation inevitable, gun violence, crack spot, federal policies, rape builders and drug professionals. Anthony was the oldest of 7, well respected, calm and collected. Laughing and joking made life easier. Hard times, mama on crack. A 4-year-old telling his nanny he needed her. His family history, pimping and banking. He was meant to be dangerous. Clacked him a grip and start slanking. 15, scraping up his jeans with quarter pieces. Even got some hair from a smoker last weekend. Dodger policeman working for his big homie. Small time hustler graduated to a brick on him. $10,000 out of for project housing. That's on the daily. Seen his first meal, 20 years old. Had a couple of babies. Had a couple of shooters. Caught a murder case. Fingerprints on the gun, they assuming, but witnesses couldn't prove it. That was back when he turned his back and they killed his cousin. He beat the case and went back to hustling. Bird shuffling, Anthony rang. The first in the projects with the two-tone Mustang. That 5.0 thing. They say 5-0 came, circling parking lots and parking spots and hopping out while harassing the corner blocks. Crooked cops told Anthony he should kick it. He brushed him off and walked back to the Kentucky Fried Chicken. See, at this chicken spot there was a light-skinned nigga that talked a lot with a curly top and a gap in his teeth. He worked the window, his name was Ducky. He came from the streets, the Robert Taylor home, Southside Project, Chirac, the Terror Dome. Drove to California with a woman on him and $500. They had a son hoping that he'd see college. Hustling on the side with a 9-to-5 to freak it. Cadillac severely ride his son around on weekends. 3-piece special with his name on his shirt pocket. Cross the street from the projects, Anthony planned to rob it. Stuck up the place before, back in '84. That's when affiliation was really 8 years of war. So many relatives telling us, selling us, devilish work, scaling us, crime, intelligent, felonious, prevalent proposition with nines. Ducky was well aware. They robbed the manager and shot a customer last year. He figured he'd get on these niggas' good sides. Free chicken every time Anthony posted in line. 2 extra biscuits, Anthony liked them and then let them slide. They didn't kill him, in fact it looked like they're the last to survive. Pay attention, that one decision changed both of their lives. One curse at a time, reverse and manifest a good karma, and I tell you why. You take 2 strangers and put them in random predicaments. Give them a soul so they can make their own choices and live with it. 20 years later, them same strangers, you make them meet again. Inside recording studios where they reaping their benefits. Then you start reminding them about that chicken incident. Whoever thought the greatest rapper would be from coincidence? Because if Anthony killed Ducky, Top Dog could be serving life while I grow up without a father and die in a gunfight.